The other day on Facebook, somebody posted this picture here, which is Grubhub's collection of feedback about the experience, which, collecting experience from your customers is really important because it gives you feedback on what you need to be doing differently, and also gives you an opportunity to ask for referrals or to just, accentuate a really good experience. So we're going to build this today using Fix Your Funnel and Infusionsoft, and you can easily drop this in. I said this would take about 5 minutes. I commented on this post on Facebook. I said it'd take about 5 minutes. So I'm going to let you be the judge. We're going to go ahead and build this out real quick. I'm going to move this off screen, and then we're going to go ahead and build it in Fix Your Funnel and then incorporate it into a campaign. So I'm going to call this one feedback and use the same keyword. I'm not expecting anybody to text that. We're actually going to initiate it from a campaign. And since this is just a test, I'm going to go ahead and do this off of my Ocus book number. So I'm going to create the messaging conversation. We're going to get started. The first step is to go ahead and just add in our introduction of what we're going to be saying. We're going to introduce ourselves. In Grubhub's example, they said, Grubhub here, tell us about your order from Thai chili to go, and then reply stop if you don't want to get the text, and when was your order delivered. So we're going to mimic this exactly. You would change it to be your business, obviously. Okay, what's great to see here is this message fits right under the 160 character limit. So I'm sure that they kind of iron through that quite a bit, but that gives you something to work with there. Now I'm just going to save these to generic places, but obviously if you're trying to collect this feedback, you would want to decide where you wanted those to go. Okay, let's add our next step, which, as we can see here, is, was the food good? Something Grubhub does here that's really good is they tell the person that's interacting with the text message conversation what answers are expected. Now obviously they can do all sorts of things. As we see in this example here, they answered yes lowercase even though they had uppercase in there. You should just accommodate for either of those. The other thing that this implies is that the food has been consumed. So this message was delayed sufficiently that they had the opportunity to receive the order, which Grubhub knows because they got feedback from the delivery person, but also that they waited long enough that the person could have potentially eaten the food so they can gather useful feedback. So when you're adding this yourself, make sure that you do the same thing. So our next question is, was your order correct? What's interesting about this too is you'll notice I'm not applying any tags as they're going through this conversation. You could do that to be able to see how far people got and to be able to use that to then decide if you want to do something differently. Is that our next step? Our next step is rate your overall experience from 5 excellent to 1 poor. This is good because it gives them an indication of what is excellent and what is poor so they know which direction the scale goes. Next, tell us your thoughts on the restaurant. This is a great place to get open-ended feedback. This could be, in this case, it was great, which isn't really useful in terms of being able to promote that. But this would be a great place to capture a testimonial if your comment ended up being very useful in terms of its depth. When I'm selecting a field for this, I would want to get a text field. And a text field is going to allow for more content to be placed into it, just in case somebody did decide to give us a lot of good feedback. Now, another good reason that you want to ask this open-ended question is you want to receive that feedback to your own company. See, feedback finds its way out to somewhere. If you receive it, then you can accept that emotion from the consumer if they're having a bad experience, and then be able to work with them and deal with it. When a company doesn't ask for that feedback, then that feedback finds its way out into the public, where it can destroy a reputation, as opposed to allow you to correct behavior that's maybe not good in your company, or to clarify expectations that weren't clear. Okay, we have one more step here, which is just to express our appreciation that they went through the process of giving us feedback. That's always helpful. Okay, here I'm going to deviate a little bit from what Grubhub did. I'm going to say, thanks for your help. Let us know if you have any other feedback. Now, the reason for that is we actually want them to engage in conversation, because when people engage in conversation, that leads to sales. That's where we grow a business. In Grubhub's case, they're using what we see here as a short code, this 32318. Not a great short code, that's fine though, but they're using that short code, and so they don't really have the capability maybe of going live in the interaction after the automated chat portion. But that's really important to understand because that gives you the opportunity then to engage in that conversation. So now, because we want this automated conversation to roll into a live conversation, if they text in response to this thank you message, we're going to save the response nowhere. Because if we save it to somewhere, then it kind of intercepts that ability to transition to live. And we want this to transition to live. So we're going to go ahead and add that. And we can go ahead and review, make sure that we didn't make any spelling errors, that we saved the stuff to where we wanted to. If you were astute, you may have noticed I did website comment for both of these, but because this is just a test, I don't really care so much about that. But if it weren't, I would want to make sure those were saved into different fields. So this looks good. I'm going to go ahead and update and publish this conversation so that this is live. Now, I'm not going to ask anybody to text feedback, although I could to that number. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use this advanced feature. Now, this unfortunately only works in the United States and Canada, but that's the option that's available here for this. So I'm going to now copy this post URL, and I'm going to jump into Infusionsoft and go to a campaign. Okay, here I am in this test campaign. So inside of a sequence where I know that a purchase has been made or some interaction has happened with my company and I want to collect feedback at this point, I'm going to do an HTTP post. And in that HTTP post, I'm going to paste in that URL, and then I'm just going to add in the required fields. Okay, that one's already in there, so I just need to tell this post where the mobile number is, which in my case is phone 5. In your account, it would be whatever you had selected, so it could be phone 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. And now this is ready to go. When this this HTTP post gets fired off in my sequence, what's going to happen is it's going to act as though they had texted in the keyword feedback. And this is going to be the message that's going to be sent out to them directly. So that's going to start the automated conversation, start collecting their automated feedback, just like Grubhub did here. And with that, you'll be able to find out how was the experience that your customer had, resolve concerns before they hit the public, and be able to keep a great relationship with your customers. Meanwhile, maybe even collecting a great testimonial or two. So this is Ryan Chapman with Fix Your Funnel. Hope you enjoyed this quick video that showed you how to be able to operate like the big boys out there, but with Fix Your Funnel and Infusionsoft. If you have any questions about what we did here today, or if you're not already a Fix Your Funnel user and you want to get started, you can go ahead and text DEMO to 760-621-8199. I'll put that here on the video so you can see that and in the comments of this video. But you can go ahead and get a feel for how this process works, how Fix Your Funnel works, see the speed at which it operates, and then also get a chance to get started with Fix Your Funnel and our $1 trial.